You have one task today. It's not even hard. You've done things far more difficult than this before breakfast. And yet, you open a new tab. You check a notification that wasn't even there. You decide the desk needs organizing first. An hour disappears, and the task is still sitting there, untouched, judging you. You call this laziness. But the real answer is far stranger. You're not avoiding the task. You're avoiding a feeling, and your brain will do almost anything to make that trade. Think about what's actually happening in that moment you choose the tab over the task. You're not choosing pleasure over effort. If you were, procrastination would feel great. It doesn't. It feels like guilt with a delay timer attached. You know you'll pay for it later. You do it anyway. That's the part that should confuse you. Why would a rational brain choose a future you know you'll regret? To understand this, you have to stop treating procrastination as a scheduling problem. The psychologist Piers Steele at the University of Calgary spent years studying why people delay tasks they intend to do. His research modeled motivation as a kind of equation, and one part of it matters more than any other: how far away the deadline feels. The further a consequence sits in the future, the less real your brain treats it. A task due in 3 weeks barely registers as a threat. A task due in 3 hours suddenly commands your full attention. Your brain isn't being lazy. It's discounting the future because the future doesn't feel urgent yet. But that's only half of it. Distance alone doesn't explain why you'd choose something actively unpleasant, like guilt, over something merely difficult. This is where the psychologist Timothy Feichel at Carleton University reframed the entire problem. Feichels' research describes procrastination not as poor time management, but as poor mood management. The task in front of you carries some uncomfortable feeling attached to it: boredom, anxiety, self-doubt, frustration. And your brain, faced with that discomfort right now, makes an old and very fast trade. It protects your mood in this exact moment, and it borrows the cost from a version of you that doesn't exist yet. You're not procrastinating on the task. You're escaping the emotion the task produces. This is the first clue. Every time you open that tab instead of starting, you're not failing at productivity. You're succeeding at something else entirely: immediate relief. Here's where it gets more specific. The psychologist Fusia Siroes has studied this emotional trade directly, and her work describes procrastination as a short-term mood repair strategy. In the moment, avoiding the task actually works. Your discomfort drops. Your brain registers that drop as a reward, and every reward strengthens the exact behavior that produced it. So the next time discomfort shows up near a task, your brain doesn't need convincing anymore. It already remembers that avoidance worked last time. This creates something like a loop. Feel discomfort, avoid the task, feel relief, repeat. The task itself barely matters. What your brain is actually tracking is the fastest route out of an unpleasant feeling, and procrastination happens to be remarkably efficient at that one job. Notice what this means about the tasks you delay most. They're rarely the hardest ones on your list. They're the ones tangled up with the most uncomfortable feelings, the ones where failure would sting, where the outcome is uncertain, where you might discover something about yourself you'd rather not know yet. A task can be objectively simple and still get buried for weeks, not because it's difficult, but because of what it makes you feel the moment you look at it. Now, here's the part that reframes everything. If procrastination is an emotional escape rather than a laziness problem, then trying to fix it with better calendars, stricter deadlines, or sheer willpower is aiming at the wrong target entirely. You're not fighting a scheduling failure. You're fighting an emotion your brain has learned to run from automatically before you're even fully aware you're doing it. That reframes the guilt too. You've probably spent years assuming procrastination proves something is wrong with your character, that you're undisciplined, weak-willed, somehow behind everyone who just does the thing. But the evidence points somewhere less personal. Your brain isn't broken. It's running an old, efficient shortcut for managing bad feelings, applied to a modern world full of tasks that make you uncomfortable in 100 small ways. Think about the version of this that isn't about being productive at all. The message you keep meaning to send, the conversation you keep putting off, the decision you already know the answer to. Every one of them likely carries some small emotional cost that your brain is quietly trading away, one delay at a time. So the next time you catch yourself reaching for the tab instead of the task, pause before calling it laziness. Notice the feeling underneath it instead. Whatever discomfort you're actually avoiding is the real thing standing between you and starting, and it was never really about the task at all. You have one task today. It's not even hard, and the only thing standing between you and starting it is a feeling you haven't looked at yet.